Welcome, everyone. Today, we're diving into the absolute foundation of artificial intelligence: data. It is important to understand that machine learning algorithms don't actually think on their own. They are pattern recognition systems. Their entire intelligence, their ability to make decisions, is derived entirely from the data you feed them. If your data is poor, biased, or just not enough, your model will fail when it hits the real world, no matter how advanced your algorithm might be. You'll often hear experts refer to the GIGO principle. It stands for garbage in, garbage out. Essentially, if you start with low-quality data, you are guaranteed to get a low-quality result. Before you can collect data, you have to understand what kind of data you're dealing with. We generally categorize it into three types. First, there's structured data. Think of your standard Excel sheets or SQL databases. It's very organized and easy to search. Then, we have unstructured data, which is actually the largest chunk of data out there today. Things like emails, images, or voice recordings that require more complex processing. Finally, there's semi-structured data, like JSON files, which offer a bit of flexibility while still providing some organizational context. So, where does this data actually come from? It could be internal, like your company's transaction logs or CRM systems. It could also come via external APIs for real-time streams like weather or stock updates. You might use web scraping to gather public info from the web. Or you might rely on sensors and IoT devices for physical measurements like temperature or GPS location. Success isn't just about gathering data, it's about curation. You need a blueprint before you start. First, clearly define the problem your AI is trying to solve. Second, decide on your success metrics. How will you actually know if the model is working? And third, create a strict labeling schema so everyone knows exactly how to categorize the information. To ensure your model is reliable, you must adhere to the 3 A's: accuracy, completeness, and consistency. Ask yourself, is this data factually correct? Is any vital information missing or null? And finally, is the data consistent across all your different sources so there's no confusion? If you are working with supervised learning, labeling is absolutely non-negotiable. This is the process of taking raw data and assigning metadata or tags so the model knows what it's looking at. A pro tip here: use diverse teams for your labeling tasks. This helps minimize individual human bias and ensures your guidelines are being followed correctly. Now we have to talk about one of the biggest pitfalls in AI: data bias. If your training data only represents one specific group or scenario, your model will be biased and likely perform poorly, or even unfairly, when it encounters anyone else. To fight this, you must actively seek out diverse data sources to ensure your dataset is truly representative of the real world. For processing, cleaning the data, handling missing values, normalizing formats, removing noise. Feature engineering, transforming raw features into components that better represent the problem, e.g., converting a date into day of week. We cannot ignore ethics. You must always adhere to privacy regulations like GDPR. This means anonymizing personal identifiers as soon as you collect them. And always ensure you have explicit consent from your users, especially when dealing with sensitive or biometric data. To wrap up, here is your checklist. Define your scope clearly, audit your sources for diversity, collect everything ethically, curate your quality through rigorous pipelines, and always validate that you haven't introduced bias. Let's see what you've learned. Which of the 3 pillars of data quality focuses on making sure no critical information is missing?